Robin and Batman, Jason Todd, issue 1. I had to think about the title there. Jeff Lemire writing with Dustin Nguyen on the art. And I like to think every time I say that name, Dustin Nguyen, someone new learns that's how you say that name. Because there was a long time when I didn't know how to say that name until someone just said it's Win. And I went, that doesn't make any sense, but it is. So
languages be weird.
Languages are very strange. So yeah, so basically this is doing a miniseries, kind of like the first one where it was Batman and Dick. This is Batman with Jason Todd now. And right away you can tell it's Jason Todd because his narration is so angsty. He's like, oh, I've been scared my whole life. I've been the one that's getting hurt. Now I get to hurt. Now they get to fear me. Like, he's super aggressive in his narration right up front. So I thought they did a good job of making it, really clear this is Jason, like, throughout. It never felt like, oh, this is just Dick with a couple of plot details switched around.
Oh, yeah. I think it's not so much of an issue these days. I think they have pretty distinct voices, but back when Jason was pretty new, there were definitely some that just wrote him as Robin. You can really tell the difference.
Yeah.
I think, and obviously in the grand scheme of things, he wasn't Robin for actually that long. So that I don't think he ever truly grew out of that as Robin. He has a much more of a defined identity as Red Hood, right, than he does as Robin.
Yeah, unless you're in Hush 2.
Yeah, well, yeah. This here is Robin, but it's very clearly Jason.
Yeah. So yeah, the big starts with like Batman and Robin chasing after some criminals, mainly this guy named Cuckoo, who's going to be kind of prominent in this issue. And Robin keeps disobeying Batman and going off on his own, chasing him down. And obviously Dustin Nguyen's arts here is good. There's a nice panel where he jumps backwards off his bike and there's like a ghost of him, like sort of mid-jump, to sort of show how the movement played out. I thought that was quite... I think it stood out because it's not that unique to comics to do, like, multiple ghosts of a character to show the movement or whatever. But I think in Dustin Nguyen's art, it looks particularly unique because it's not usually something that would be in his art.
I agree. I think it's something I'm really used to seeing in like Nightwing books because he's so acrobatic. Like, I see it a lot with Dick. I don't think I've ever really seen it much with Jason.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So obviously Jason runs off after Cuckoo. He outsmarts him even. He doesn't go around the corner when the guy's waiting for him. He jumps down from above, but still ultimately loses, gets kicked down, and even gets cut a little bit because this guy's got like claws that he wears. And Batman's concerned, and Jason still wants to run after him, but he's like, no, we're done for today. We're going home. And Jason's just a little shit about it. He's like, sure, whatever. We're just giving up.
Oh, Jason.
Oh, yeah. He's so Jason.
This is why everyone hated him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, and there's a lot of stuff as well back at the cave where Alfred's trying to intervene and tell Jason to speak to Bruce with respect. And it just all goes pretty south where it's like, you're not my father and you're not my grandfather and blah, 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 blah. And they basically just have a frank conversation once he's gone about like, Dick was such a good boy. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but in hindsight, Dick was an angel. Dick was a extraordinary gifted young man who has the will of steel, and this little shit is a nightmare, and I don't know how to deal with him. So, yeah, they really set this up. And we get a nightmare sequence from Jason as well, which focuses on a couple of different things. I mean, the one that's mostly prevalent by the end of this issue is, obviously the fact that his mother died with drugs, right? Or ODing with a syringe found by her. But we also get like almost like he's seen like some sort of weird like prophetic vision of the future because Red Hood is like holding a gun up against him. So I don't know how to read that specifically other than just foreshadowing what's to come.
Yeah, I think it probably is just that for now.
Yeah. But
it's a creepy dream, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. So Batman gives him another chance to go after this Cuckoo who's shown up at a bar. But the big cliffhanger to the end of the issue is that it looks like Jason might lose control and kill him because when he finds Cuckoo, he's shooting up with a syringe, which makes him think of his mother, it makes him kind of hesitate. And we cut back to Batman, and when he runs up to the scene of the crime, and we get Batman's reaction, he looks shocked, and it looks like Jason's beat him to death. Like, this guy's lying on the ground, and there's just blood coming from him. But very quickly, he's like, I didn't do it, I didn't, because Batman thinks he did this, and he's like, I didn't do it. And quite quickly, it appears to be a bullet hole, and the cliffhanger is this character up on a roof with a sniper rifle. Who, if that's meant to be someone I'm supposed to know, I don't recognize them.
No, I don't either. It's just like a white shroud with eye holes, and I don't know. It said it's dude with a rifle.
Yeah, I was going to say silver, but I mean, given how like the other whites look, it might just be white in this art style.
Yeah, it looked white to me, but I don't know. It looked like it was a similar color to like the fog right behind them.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, and honestly, we went through that quite quick plot-wise, despite the fact that it's a double-sized book. But that's actually a testament to how good the pacing is in this, honestly. I felt that this read very nicely, despite the fact that it's 40-plus pages long.
Yeah, it's fairly dialogue-light. There's like a lot of pages where you just have like 1 or 2 dialogue boxes over like 5 or 6 panels. Yeah. And it's just really, really lets the action just flow through the art, and it just flies through. Yeah,
and the art's good. Obviously, it's very different to, Dustin Nguyen's art's very unique. Of course, it's got that watercolor look to it, which, you wouldn't necessarily want in all Batman books, but it is definitely an interesting thing to have here. And given that these books are Robin and Batman, and it's kind of coming from the kid's perspective, the idea of it having more of a, I don't know, like a very different perspective, and this almost dreamlike quality, like through the eyes of a child, actually kind of makes sense, like thematically, I would say.
I agree. I think it's also quite funny to me that between this so far and the previous book in this series being some of, in my opinion at least, Lemire's best superhero work.
Mm.
And I've said multiple times, I think his best work is when he does his own art. I think it's quite funny that Nguyen's art is stylistically closer to Lemire's art than anything else that DC publishes. I think so it's just quite a really natural pairing, I think, for them both.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just. I wonder if part of it is because it is similar enough in tone, more so than style even, but tone. Lemire feels comfortable letting the art do a lot of the lifting in a way that maybe he doesn't when he's working with different art styles.
Maybe. Like I said, they both have that really loose, kind of almost sketch style, right? But it's very expressive, and it's very like, I think the pacing of this book, where he's pacing it for this art, it feels like when he's pacing it for himself. Maybe because he knows Nguyen can draw pretty much what he would do himself, like stylistically, like it would match. It's not like a hyper detailed action sequence. It's all about the emotion and the pace, which is kind of what his stuff is.
Yeah.
So it just feels like a really natural match when he's writing for it. And I think it flows so well.
And that double page count means that we get to like have these sequences really feel like they've got room to breathe. Like the chase sequence at the start with the bike and the truck, the dream sequence, then the chase at the end. Like all that stuff feels like it's, it feels like there's a lot of good pacing to it in a way where it's not having to rush any of it. And I think that's, it's just where it's taking advantage of its page count. So it's not like he's doing double the amount of plot for the issue, but he's using the pages to make each of the sequences feel like they're kind of big in their own right.
Yeah, I agree, but not in a way that I feel like it would be easy to feel like you were getting like robbed almost because it reads so quickly. But it's double page count, it's more expensive. It would be easy to feel like you're not getting your money's worth, but it doesn't feel that way at all because it just goes so naturally when you go through it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, what are you giving Robin and Batman, Jason Todd?
I'm probably going to give it an 8.5. I think it doesn't quite hit 9 levels of being spectacular. Maybe partially because it is stylistically a continuation of the previous series. But it's such a strong start. it differentiates itself pretty nicely from the previous one, with it very clearly being Jason. It's not just the same thing again, but it is very much about the relationship between Batman and Robin. But obviously that takes a different form here. But yeah, no, it's such a good start.
Yeah, it's so interesting. We're getting so many different good takes on like the early Batman and Robin stuff between Batman and Robin Year One, this obviously the previous series, even last Halloween's kind of doing like because he's still kind of fresh with Robin in that series as well. There's a lot of this going on right now.
Like going back still, but like is continuing, but like all the stuff with the World's Finest is still got a lot of that stuff in there with Robin.
Yeah, that's just interesting. I think for me, I'm probably gonna go the straight 8 out of 10. I think it's good. I really like the art. I love the vibe of it, and I'm curious to see where the plot's going now. Like, obviously, yeah, we've established these character dynamics between Batman and Jason, but who's this villain? How's this going to play out? Like, I'm not like, I don't dislike this ending, but I also don't necessarily feel like it's a hook for me either. It's kind of neutral and just kind of like, okay, well, let's see what this is next time. But 8 out of 10 because art's good, pacing's good. It was a joy to read, honestly.